Hello, girls. Okay, so today after school, as you know, it was snowing like the dickens outside, and I really didn't think too much of it. And then a little while later, a teacher came into my classroom and she was talking about how she just got off the phone with somebody else. They said that there was cars all over the road, and the roads were really bad, and so teachers were allowed to leave school early a little bit today. And so I was like, oh, I have quite a drive, almost a half an hour drive to school every day. So I was like, I gotta get out of here. And I grabbed all of my stuff, at least I thought I did. And I just left the building as soon as I could because, I knew I was going to be in for a very long and slippery, scary ride home. And I left my plan book at school. So I'm a little like, can't really remember everything that's written down. So, I do know that tomorrow for my plans, because we're celebrating Dr. Seuss this week for Read Across America Week, and Dr. Seuss is a big inspiration for that week. Like I said earlier today, he's a world famous author and illustrator with over 45 very popular titles that children all over the world and adults absolutely cherish to this day. So, Dr. Seuss, as we learned in our Let's Find Out magazine, um, he had his own style. He was very creative and one of a kind. There is not another author or illustrator like him. He was very, people could pick up a book and without even looking at the front cover, know that it was a Dr. Seuss book. He had a very specific look about his illustrations and his stories with the rhyming and the made up words. All right. And that's what made him stand out from everybody else. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of welcome our inner Seuss creativity because kindergartners, I've done this with a few different grades, even though I've only ever taught kindergarten, I've visited other classrooms and I've done other activities with other grade levels, and kindergartners are just so creative with this activity because they have nothing holds you back. All right. So you're going to create a character today. Okay. You're going to create your own character right out of your imagination. You get to decide what size your character is going to be. You can decide what shape it's going to be. You can decide, how anything you want, what color it's going to be. You can decide if it's going to have arms, 1 arm, 10 arms, 3 arms, legs. Maybe it won't have legs. Maybe it will have flippers instead, or just paddles for legs. You get to decide what your character is going to look like. It could be like part horse, part penguin, whatever. If you need some inspiration and you have some Dr. Seuss books, go ahead and flick through the pages of some Dr. Seuss books and you'll see that his characters are all pretty unique. And they're different colors and they have different names. There's not a name like them. Like today we learned a Grinch, right? What's a Grinch? It kind of sounds like Grinch, but you know what? Dr. Seuss created the Grinch too, all right? And the Who's and Whoville, right? He just made it up out of his head. And so that's what I would like you to try to do today is you're going to welcome your inner Seuss and you're going to create a character and give it a name. And you guys are usually like so good at this anyway. You do this all the time and you don't even realize that you're doing it. Like I hear kids making up names for things all the time. So you'll feel like it's a challenge, but at the same time, it's really not if you just be yourself and just draw and just be creative and thoughtful, and you'll realize that you're actually really good at being an author and an illustrator like Dr. Seuss. So that is one job for you to work on today. Another thing that I would like you to do, because I left my plan book at home, and at school, my other home. Um, and I can't remember all the details of that activity because I wrote them all down. So what I really, you guys are, you should have all your pages of your bird book done. You should have the food, the habitat, the parts, the did you know, and there's probably one more that and enemies, right? Okay, so you should have all of those pages done and with the drawings. You guys are a little bit ahead of the class on that, but that's okay. So what we learn about books is that books have a front cover and a back cover, right? So I would like you to work on your front cover today. And if you look at books that you have in your home, the types of things that you see on the front cover would be something like a title, okay? So all about flamingos. Or, it doesn't have to be all about flamingos. It could be just flamingos. Or you could say, my book about flamingos, right? You can give it whatever title that you want, okay? But as long as you have flamingos or blue jay in your title, because you want your reader to know what the book is about, right? And the other important thing is to make sure that your name, just like Dr. Seuss on his book, your name is printed nice and neatly and either towards the bottom or towards the top of your book. And it will say author Kara Welch or author Sky Allen, illustrator. You're going to say author and illustrator Kara Welch, author and illustrator Sky Allen, because you guys are the authors and the illustrators of your book. You can take all of your pages, put them in order, any order that you think makes the most sense. It doesn't have to be the order in which we created the book, but it can be. Whatever order you think makes the most sense, put them all together in order. And then I want you to do your front cover, and you probably should have the best. Like by now, you should be professionals at drawing blue jays and flamingos. So the front cover should probably have the best illustration of your book. Okay, on the front cover with the title and the author and illustrator's name. Okay, and then staple or maybe weave yarn, however, or a little bit of duct tape, fold it over to bind your book together into a book, okay? And it will be your first informational book that you've started from beginning to end about, and it will be nonfiction because it's all factual. You didn't put anything in there that's made up or make believe. So that's exciting. That's really exciting. And I would love for you to record yourself reading your book on Seesaw for me. We are going to be moving on to more science. We're not forgetting about the worms, but now the worms are in a worm jar, and I want you to observe over time. And if you get more worms, great. I did order some more, so if you need more, I can send you more. But we're going to be observing the worms and how they eat and decompose all the things that you feed them in the jar and turn it into new, rich, wonderful, dark black soil. Let me see. So that's something that we're going to be doing over time now. I have some more little critters that will be coming. Some were supposed to be last week and they didn't come, so I'm hoping this week is the week that they come, and then I'll be sending those out to you as soon as I get them ready and prepared for you to come pick up. What else was I going to have you do today? I probably am going to post something onto Seesaw if my brain can remember what it is that I had written down in my book for you to do on Seesaw. So you're working on your character for your Dr. Seuss character, but it's yours. It's going to be one that you make up. You're working on the front cover of your bird book so we can get that completed. And you're going to read that to me. And those two things should take you a good while. You're going to have music this morning with Mrs. Miller, but we're going to be in the classroom because it can be brutal cold today. And I will post a couple of activities for you to complete on Seesaw. And I think I can't remember everything else I have written down, but that should be enough. That, you know, if you take your time and put a lot of thought and everything into your Seuss character and give it a name and maybe, you know, a little personality or whatever, I would love, love, love for you to tell me about that on Seesaw as well. So that's what I'm going to have you do today. Please spend some time on happy numbers. Our class is making a lot of great progress with the happy numbers. Number bonds are becoming more routine, and they're making more and more sense. So that's awesome. If you haven't gotten to number bonds yet, which I think both of you have on happy numbers, yeah, I think both of you have. Keep it up because it just gets more and more and more interesting from there. So that's that. Sorry, this video is weird. Like I said, I literally grabbed my backpack and my purse and my coat and I left school because I was afraid of the road conditions, and it did take me a long time to get home. So, okay. Have a wonderful day. We're not going to meet this afternoon at 11:45, but tomorrow we will. Wednesday we will. We're going to have a guest come into our classroom and read a story. Okay? All right. See you later.